Hello, welcome back. Um, I'm going to start today with a short drill from Madhaban on the subject of concentration.
बाप दादा की रूहानी ड्रिल याद है ना। ये एकाग्रता की ड्रिल सदाई करते चलो। अभी एक सेकंड में मन के मालिक बन। और मेरा बाबा संसार है। दूसरा न कोई। इससे एकाग्र स्मृति में स्थित हो जाओ। अच्छा
Thank you and welcome back. So, welcoming to all. I'm Prashant. I would like to make a start and welcome to come, if you can, into camera. Here you.
Hello and welcome back. Let us create a few moments of silence, and within that, a quick revision of what we discussed. We saw that if we are talking about clarity, the best thing we can do is use the best intellect. When we speak of paras, we are talking about the intellect that can see the subtle and that can see the big map. Nice description of Paras is godlike kind of mind, implying intellect. In other words, you are seeing the way God is seeing. You give yourself the permission, full 100%. If you are going for Paras, it is not any humility to use 50%, use 100%. In this context, Baba wants us to become like God. Otherwise, we mix demon in that. If we are using 100%, then we are seeing this physical world. It's a story. Everything that happened in a story, full stop. There is no if and but. Right now, Prashant is talking, that is happening in a story. And story doesn't promise any logic. Story doesn't promise anything. There are many stories in the world, they don't promise you anything. They begin, they end, they got some characters. Anyone can write a story also. So also here is a story. It is not a story made by anyone. It is not my story. It is not God's story. It's a story. If someone is Paras, he knows it is a story. God knows it's a story. And story also means it is a separate reality. It is not to be mixed with your world. You can make a big drama based on a story, but it is separate. It is empty. In the story, there can be a palace, there can be a gold, but you don't get it anything. It is empty. entertainment is fine, but your stomach don't get filled with the story. So we are seeing the story, understanding it's a story. You don't create a slightest dependency in a story. You don't create any expectation there. Expectation is a dependency. All the characters within it. It can be spiritual effort makers. The characters, that is story. You don't create any expectation. If I understand it's a story. You just watch, clap, and go home. You don't create any demand. You don't have any preference in a story. All these are dependencies. There is no ownership in a story. And to identify, that is like a extreme confusion. Opposite of clarity. There is a story that is happening there. And I am taking things personally and taking offense and ready to declare a war. That is extreme ignorance. Even for a few minutes, we come to that 100% paras. Understand the story world for what it is as a story. And then I am realizing I'm never a victim. Story is harmless. Many things happen in a story. And unpredictable things happen in a story. Things end, the fires, floods within the story. But you are never a victim. Just because you did not mix your life with the story. You did not create any dependency. There are villains and there are dragons in the story. They don't harm you. And the moment victim is removed, if there is no dependency, you are never a victim. Never a victim, never a beggar. Begging for some harmony within a story. That is also begging. Begging that someone should be nice and kind in the story. And if the begging stops, the same moment it is replaced by the noble. The mentality is the noble mentality. If the victim stops, same moment the mentality becomes divine. Natural state is noble and divine. And how do you notice it? You are seeing every scene of the story with the appreciation. You see every moment as a gift as it comes. Right now, this moment is a gift. There can be fog, there can be rain, there can be jokers, there can be dragons, but that's the entertainment. That is the way the story is. They have made efforts to present this particular scene. Silently, there is appreciation and there is gratitude. Just as we see the other stories, and there's many things happen, you are appreciating the way it is done. You are not complaining. Invisible witness is seeing this performance. He is in full light. 100% paras means in full clarity. He is aware of his world beyond. The story is great entertainment, but he is also aware of his world beyond the story. He doesn't even need to watch the story continuously. That is not his mission. He is the observer of the three worlds. He has got his world. And in his world, there is the great family. They all are simple. There is simplicity. There is no clutter. They don't own car and horse, and so the needs are dropped. If you have a car, you need something. You have a horse, you need. So they don't even have a body. That's why they need nothing for their existence. Conscious living stars, bodiless, and clutterless. No clutter with them. And as a result, they are those who need nothing for their existence. No one can deprive them, no one can harm them. They are beyond harm. Story cannot harm anyone, but they are immortal. Forever beyond harm. When anyone knows he is beyond harm, for him every experience is fun. Just like you are watching a circus. It is not harming you, it is fun. All that is we need to know is, are we secure here? If you are completely safe, then as it comes, everything is play. Their life is of silent bliss. That is the natural state of everyone, silent bliss. All and always. If there are no needs, then there are no desires, there are no disappointments. They are naturally sorrowless. And if they are so free from the story world, they have not created any dependency in the story, then it means they are viceless, zero vices and zero ego. They are all conditional upon confusion. In confusion, one leads to the next until it is total inner chaos. In this full clarity, there is zero vice, zero ego, zero desires, zero sorrow. Desireless, and selfless. All are like this. That's why worthy to be loved by God. The highest respect. They deserve the highest honor. It is a Ravan-free region. All are Ravan-free. That's why worthy to belong to God, worthy to be loved by God, worthy to have company of God. They are like God. God sees them as equal. They have a right. They belong to this family. They belong to that world. Invisible witness. Invisible witness doesn't mix himself with anything in the story. Story is completely separate. Right now, this gathering, Zoom, that is happening in the story. Prashant is in the story. At the same time, the invisible witness is seeing his world. He realizes this whole truth, whole scene is immensely beautiful. His world is eternal and family divine and noble. Life with the God. It's a world of perfection. If everyone is viceless and egoless, we are talking about perfection. World of silent celebration. Everyone belongs, everyone loves, everyone is worthy of love. Region of love. There is nothing, no complications. If there are no desires and everyone is safe, there are no Ravan's complications. No one need to be cunning in any interaction. It is the region of innocence. In this full security, they can afford to be innocent. And the whole scene is eternal. They have option to create confusion. That option is there. They can see this whole thing upside down. That option is there. But the truth is eternal. Everyone is good and everything is good. We are seeing it, experiencing it, not just the words. Even the story is perfect. Even though there are dragons and there are fires and floods and destruction, story is perfect. If we see it as a story, there is no complaint about anything. In full clarity, there is no complaint. Every second we are just experiencing this. The invisible witness is staying in this experience. He is contributing to the light, contributes to this lighthouse effect. And it will make it easy for others to see their truth. They all are from the same home. They all are noble and divine. They all are immortal. But they may not be experiencing their own truth. Certainly not the full wonder. Why they are not? Because there is no light. So every second you are experiencing this, your attention in this celestial truth, your attention on this alaukic celebration, family celebration. You are seeing their greatness. You are seeing that they are lucky, they are lovely, and they are immortal. They are very, very lucky. Not because of the story. Story is not their story. But they are lucky because of their world, truth. This applies to the whole family. And family is souls, humans and beyond. All are immortal. And all are good. If in this experience there is conviction, if the clarity is backed by conviction and concentration, then the light will be more. As we continue on our journey in the sky, on the earth, the invisible witness has the option to stay with full paras. Patthar is not compulsory. No one needs Patthar to lead life in the story. Patthar is a bit like being semi-blind, just like you don't need blindness to do anything. We will be better to see everything in with full sight. So whether in the sky or on earth, we understand the immense value of using the best intellect and making it stronger. Thank you. So it'll be nice to hear some thoughts from you also.
Thank you. Yeah, so no questions, or there's a comment, I only have what I am. In the chat, there aren't any other comments right now.
Nice. And now let me come back to our famous Paras view, Paras perspective. If you are to be asked, who is your enemy? What will be your, do you have an enemy? Mrs. Thatcher, her one message in her party, at a party conference, she said, know your enemy. You should first find out who your enemy is. Locate the enemy. So have you got any enemy?
Illusion, ego, Robin.
Very clear. Do you very clearly feel there's the enemy?
Yeah.
Who is the enemy?
Yeah, the Robin, ego, those answers, illusion.
Good. Yeah, and the answers are right. Here we are just using the word ego. In other words, your identities that you have created in the story. Yesterday we used the language of, to see the contrast clearly, we use the word story. That word, using the word story is good to reduce the hype of the ego. And today we are going to use the word, it is a world of dolls. It's a story, but for a while, see it as a world of dolls. The whole thing that is happening right now, it is Prashant is within that world of dolls, the whole thing. And who is seeing it like that? The invisible players, invisible travelers, they are associated with this fixed, repeating world of dolls. World doll show is going on there. And then within this world of dolls, you are getting drawn, you are creating desires, you start owning things, and then you start think you are the doll. Ego means you are saying, I am the doll, and I want to be the famous doll, and I want to be seen important, and this doll will have a big hat. So you are trying to be, this is what the ego is. Why is it the enemy? It is very innocent, it is a bit confused. I agree that ego is confused. Here he is the angel, immortal, angelic prince. And he thinks he's the doll, so he's confused. Why enemy? Enemy is a strong word.
Confusion causes distress. It gives you sorrow. The reality is merged, so we get the confusion. We don't know our compass. It's creating a separation. It's becoming stronger by the minute if left unattended. It makes the prince unconscious.
Absolutely, yes. It is the enemy because it keeps you, the invisible angelic prince, unconscious. Internally, there is this battle between the ego and the soul. And either the soul is conscious or ego is conscious. You can't have both. If you are making these spiritual efforts, if you are soul conscious for 5 minutes, for 5 minutes, ego will be unconscious. Ego will actually suffocate during those 5 minutes. That's why at the first chance, he will stop your soul consciousness. You may be enjoying it. It is, it is true. It is paras. Everything is there, but ego will come back. And because anyone suffocating, he will try to come back. It also means he will make the angelic soul unconscious. He wants to keep the angelic soul unconscious constantly. That is what happened for ages, not just 5 minutes. It is like it has blocked this. Even in this life, you can see how much we are talking about this wonderland, life with God and perfection and the world beyond belief. Why are they not experiencing this? because of the enemy. Normally, if there is some one terrorist somewhere, the whole country makes so much effort to, one prisoner escaped in this country in some years ago. One prisoner managed to escape, as if the whole country was geared around catching that prisoner. Newspapers, television, constantly every street surveillance until he was caught. And here, ego is keeping you unconscious and keeping everyone unconscious continuously. Even now it is. And it doesn't come in the newspapers. It doesn't. There is no one is mentioning about this. Say there are some terrorists, in your country, maybe terrorists, there may be criminals, but at a very practical level, you might not have received any problem from them. There may be some bad people. You personally, you're not caused any harm. Whereas this ego has continuously blocked you. Continuous. And even now trying to block you. Such is this very fierce enemy. Do you think you are friend of ego, or do you are friend of the soul? Most of the time, are you friend of the soul? Or are you friend of the ego, your own ego?
The sobering question. Probably the ego, more definitely.
You want to answer? And
At the moment, the ego is one friend of the ego, hope of the soul.
at a practical level, okay, let me ask, do you like to hear praise of your hat and praise of what you did, or do you like to hear criticism? Criticism will reduce ego, praise will feed the ego. That sort of gives you the idea where you are positioning yourself. Those who praise you, do they become your friends? And those who criticize you, do they become your enemies? I think we need to question this. So what is our positioning ourselves? Are we friend of ourselves, or are we friend of the enemy? If we are working for the enemy, what will be the end result? Clarity, one of this, what Mrs. Thatcher, I'm sure Mrs. Thatcher was talking of this, locate your true enemy, and your firepower should be against the true enemy. Otherwise your firepower is directed towards your brothers, really, huge in this military and machinery, all directed towards each other, but not towards the real enemy. Here you are saying, okay, this is what need to go. This enemy need to go. And it is important, urgent. All the spiritual effort makers, I'm talking here, this gathering is very sincere. You are creating time, you are creating, applying method to be yogi. But if the ego is big, which is the case, we are dealing with the big ego, dominant ego at the end of Iron Age, and you are just learning to be soul conscious, as soon as your attention is finished, ego will immediately take over. That is, such is the game here. Ego will not sort of say, okay, you made such a wonderful yoga for 2 hours, then you can continue for another 2 hours. No, ego is so dominant. The moment your attention is even slightly less, it will come straight away. It might come whilst you are still in the tapasya dham. Even that time it may be running the show. For that, we need some strategy to shrink ego directly. One is the be holy, and other is be yogi. Yogi is you are seeing the sky, you are seeing the soul, you are seeing God, and that's your yogi. The other side is be holy. Be holy means you are following all the different restraints Baba talks about. Don't do this, don't touch this, follow purity, don't think of this. All these are steps to restrain Ravan and to stop ego. But that department, be holy, we may have to step up a little bit. Ego needs a little more shrinking. Restraining is necessary. So first day we can't. At least we have to. Ravan is so dominant; it has to be restrained. All the disciplines that are spoken, they have to be put into practice to shrink Ravan. Otherwise, if we are feeding him, then there is no chance. Ravan will throw away everything. So you like purity and diet and lifestyle, all this is mentioned so that Ravan's heads become smaller. But one more step we may have to take on, and that is shrinking this ego directly, going for direct hit for the ego. For this, let me draw one sketch to show what is happening. So here is the soul. And here is the role in the story. Let us call this Freddy. The soul is angelic. What we are saying here is the soul. His angel. His life is of bliss and life of it's godlike. Soul is godlike. His nature is of contentment, peace, happiness, wisdom, truth. That is full of wonder. That is his natural life. Then here is the role, Freddy. Freddy is neutral. Freddy is not a troublemaker. Neutral, just like in the story, there is a doll, then where is the problem there? And then third factor is Mr. Ego. So let us represent ego by this image. I would like to represent ego by the letter R. R is for Ravan. So ego is, it is not just one identity, all the identities together. And that's why using the R factor is the third one. And what is R factor? Do you want to tell again a little bit more? What is R factor based on? What are all this ego? What are they doing?
Like madly guarding the doll.
Yeah, very good. So this R factor is mad fan of Freddy. Mad fan. If you have come across any mad fan, he absolutely loves uh, uh, Freddy, but it is like mad. He is ready to bite anybody. He doesn't like Freddy. Freddy is nothing to do with you. It is a doll. You are here. The real you is this invisible angel. Freddy is the doll, and this mad fan, Mr. R, is like a dog. Absolutely. He worships this doll, praises this doll, guarding this doll, but he's mad. And as time progresses, this R factor gets bigger because Freddy is getting bigger hat, Freddy is getting praise, and R factor absolutely loves this. And as the success of Freddy increases, the R factor is getting bigger and bigger. So where is the problem? Is there a problem? Agreed that R factor is getting bigger. It is a Freddy there, and it is doll, The problem is that this R, big R, becomes the eclipse. It is an eclipse, and it prevents the angelic prince from experiencing his wonder. That is the problem. So there is the soul, there is the role, and there is this third factor. Third factor is R factor, the mad fan. Just like a dog. Sometimes dog is so devoted to some master and ready to bite and bark, do anything. It is like R factor, except that R factor is mad. He is not thinking about you. He is thinking about the doll. Obsessed with the doll. And now this big R is blocking the sun. It is the eclipse. This is the only reason you can't experience your own wonder. Now, clever thing would be how to shrink this R factor. That is our cleverness. How can we reduce this R factor? If you reduce the eclipse, then you can experience the angel. Straightforward. It is a straightforward game. How? How do you reduce the eclipse? What you are doing is good. As was said, be holy and be yogi. This is our formula. Yoga is good and you are following. Is there anything more you can do? Now the one in military, there is something called Polaris missile. Now there must be many more kinds of missiles, but these missiles, they can go and just knock out the exact building that you want to hit. They can go to some long distance, but they go turn left, right, and they can just knock out exact building that they want to hit. Next building is okay. So here we want to knock this R. One is you bomb, and messy damage, but here Polaris just goes straight to the place. We want to, when destruction happens, final destruction, it is messy. Destruction is happening just to remove the R factor, but in a messy way. Whole world is destroyed to remove this R. We will be clever to remove the R beforehand, before the destruction. Then there are no Vinash forces left, for you to deal with. And for this, you can go for the direct hit. And how? How do you hit R factor? Yeah, I want to hear your answer. Is there a way you can send a missile, Polaris missiles, to R factor?
Yeah. Sort of seeing the exit, the fire of yoga, thinking my Baba, this was a bit earlier, maybe connected. Stop the supply, like in Ram Sita story. Be present, live in the moment, connect simplicity. Earlier, the comments were see from outside the game, shine light. Soul shines light and it melts the R factor. Thinking of my Baba, switching the Paris intellect.
Yeah, sure. Now, one extra thing, we mentioned earlier, someone praises Freddy, R factor will get bigger straight away. You like to think about it. What was some success comes, R factor gets bigger straight away. Any so-called pleasures, they are all feeding the R factor, and they all come through Freddy. That role is the medium for R factor. You can't go to R factor directly. It is through this role, the doll Freddy. So you can experiment, create a thought, personal. It is like broadly we are saying this is the world of dolls and all. But speak to yourselves, tell yourselves, here, like a Prashant, Prashant is part of this world of dolls. See the insignificance of Prashant. There are millions and billions of these, dolls right now. This drama, right now on this planet, there are billions. There are many, many doing such wonderful things and very talented and very virtuous. Prashant is part of the crowd, so insignificant. See that and tell the R factor how insignificant Freddy is, how it is one of the crowd, and that it is going to die, it is going to disappear. Let Freddy lives in his bubble. Freddy likes to think, this R factor. R factor lives in this bubble. He likes to believe that Freddy is the center of the universe. Literally, it is as if nothing else exists for this R factor. Everything is revolving around Freddy. And you are telling this R factor how insignificant Freddy is. Just for 2 minutes, experiment with this. How insignificant it is. It is part of this crowd, and it is going to disappear also. And this whole world of dolls is going to be dismantled. This is like a bitter medicine. And it may be, you might have resistance also to say it, and they want to think of it like this. It is so different to workshop on positive thinking. Experiment. You know exactly why you are doing this, but as you are doing this, it is like the Polaris missile. It reaches straight to the R factor. It is a bitter medicine to the R factor. It shrinks. And you will see the results straight away. This is the experience of whoever who does this properly. It is the experience straight away. There is a experience. The angel gets chance to breathe. Angelic soul gets chance to breathe. And why I say you notice it? Because with that comes happiness. Angel is breathing, there will be happiness, there will be lightness, there will be bliss, and those feelings will come. But most important, you come in the world of experience. It is not just visualization forever, just a visualization. No, you to come in the world of experience, that R factor need to shrink. And we need some Polaris missiles here that to shrink this R factor a little bit more. Then remove the eclipse and you can go past it and see it works. And you will be good at this. Then the process starts. Because more you are experiencing this, then be yogi, it becomes a proper yogi. Just a visualization, that is not enough to remove this Ravan. You have to be yogi. And to be yogi, to come in the experience, we need that little bit of a lift. That we need to take that little step to bypass ego, bypass Ravan. You want to say anything or ask anything?
Thinking if you're in the street and someone is coming to steal something from you, if you divert the robber, find a way to give yourself, even if it's 5 seconds, a chance to put the robber in a different direction or find that space, you have a much better position, so that in those seconds you can get out of whatever the danger is. And I feel these practices suspend the activity of Ravan such that you can run to that wonder of the true self and experience. And then when you're on that side, then you have all the clarity, all the concentration, everything is there. So that, these two things have to go together, isn't it? We don't just stay at the level of crunching the Ravan, because the whole point is to experience the yogi part. So they, you use it to run,
Yeah. The whole point is, we want to experience it. The whole game is self-respect and all of this. Sometimes people say, where does self-respect fit in with it? Self-respect is not based on Freddie. This whole subject of self-respect, sometimes in some gatherings, They say, you've been so nice, you're so kind, Freddie was so helpful and so loving and kind. And then the other person is getting tears and feeling so happy, and that is not self-respect. It actually goes in opposite direction. It is the ego is happy to hear all this. Self-respect is when the angel is conscious and angel is experiencing the wonder, and as he is experiencing that wonder, he also understands everyone else is like this. So it doesn't get into some ego. He understands the secret, big secret. Baba, what is the difference between Baba's self-respect and everyone else's? Baba's self-respect is based on here. He knows the incorporeal, and he knows that his ocean of bliss and ocean of peace, incorporeal, not based upon things of the drama. And the same happens here also. So we have to take that jump, from where we are at present to the incorporeal. And then the real progress will happen. And then you are the true friend of the soul.
A comment here, blending the character in the crowd, meaning making the character ordinary and invisible. The invisible soul is the one who is special. So it's like seeing, so that's one method, sharing, making the role very.
And the truth is that we are not making the character ordinary. Things are ordinary. Here is that world is a secondary world. It is not it is a world of dolls. That is a script, and it is not our world. There are different dolls come and go. That is the way the drama is. The whole thing gets played over again based upon the script. It is ordinary, but ego has created such a hype about it. Ego, because it lives in that world of dolls, it has given it so much value, so much importance, given projected life on those dolls. And his uncles and aunties are all within that world of dolls. He's singing songs, composing songs, sitting there. And thinking that he is so kind and so loving. But it is a madhouse. That is, ego is Mr. Mad. So that is what has been happening. We are bringing light, just like we are clarity. And in full clarity, we are able to see our home. In full clarity, we can see ourselves, souls. We can see our true family, full light, and that is. But we have to shine light here also, in the story also. Shine light, and you realize how irrelevant whole thing is. It is going to finish. This Prashant is going to disappear. The whole thing is going to disappear, and ego doesn't want to think of it even. Ego wants to believe that this will go on forever. He lives in that bubble, in that delusion. We are shining light and telling ego that this is what the truth is, how ordinary it is and how irrelevant it is. And it is a world of dolls, and the whole thing is going to be dismantled. Whole thing is going to finish. We are telling it. It is a bitter medicine, but necessary medicine, and it helps it shrink. The effect is immediate. It is temporary, because half an hour later, ego will get back its it will play some old songs, and it will say, "I'm so good," it will get back, to the get bigger. But each time you are doing it, it continues to shrink. That is the good news. It is like every time you are using this, it will shrink. And if it shrinks even a little bit, eclipse is removed. You get the glimpses of the angel on the other side. You are able to experience the angelic prince. Not just words, not just a nice commentary, nice knowledge, but the experience. To come in the experience, this R factor need to shrink.
You just answered this question, but maybe how would the role look while ego shrinks more and more? What would the role be like?
Role continues, the same, nothing changes. And after this, say, we use the word ego crunch for this. So after this ego crunch, not everything continues the same, everything remains the same. Only thing that has changed is that ego becomes smaller. That's the only thing. Prashant is still there, and he's not going to disappear, even though we tell ego Prashant is going to disappear. He is still here today, and drama continues. But it was Polaris hits the ego. Ego is the one that becomes smaller.
And it has power when you're doing it yourself, doesn't it? Because it's amazing. We spend our whole lives ordinarily trying to create comfort in this story. And if someone just even looks at us
And
funny way,
comfort for the ego.
yeah, it's such a machinery, and we choose our friends like for these reasons. So we stop talking to someone. So this is such a reverse psychology that, but it's so, for my experience, it is amazing when you have a reason, you know why you can't experience. You just use this kind of method, like seeing the insignificance. And there's 8 billion of human beings, and just bringing facts in a way, like a big picture. Ashlin's asking, does that stand for Ravan?
Yes.
Yeah. Another question, I don't know if you want to answer it now, but what's your description of the soul world?
Soul world.
Yeah, that question came in this discussion at some point, but if you want to take it now or later.
Yeah, it is the Ravan-free region. And Ravan's field of action is this box. This region is a Ravan-free region, and that changes the game completely, because all the souls are divine. That what we said, their life is of bliss and love and innocence, full 100% innocence. Nothing inauspicious in everyone. It is a God, and all are godlike. That's why it becomes a region of sweet silence. There is no actions there, and things are merged. But even that silence is sweet silence, because potentially everyone is divine being. So that is the soul world. Our present time at the confluence age, when we say the seed stage, we experience that soul world and emerge it. At the present time, we have the option to experience it in an immersed way, full immersed form. When we are actually there, we may not be experiencing the same way. It remains the same, but the reality is such that we experience the sweet silence when we are there.
Yeah, nice, thank you. So there aren't any other questions right now?
Is it time for rooms or?
Yeah, can be. Do you want to bring a topic?
Ego crunch would be a good topic.
Certainly something to digest.
The first question is, has anyone got ego? first to discuss.
Yeah,
And then, what are your thoughts?
maybe on Be Holy, Be Yogi.
Yes, be holy, be yogi. How to work on yoga side and how to work on removing Ravan. Holy is possible if we are successful in shrinking Ravan.
Yes, shrinking Ravan. Okay. Okay, so we just put that in the chat as something to perhaps promote and begin sharing. Hope you enjoy, and we'll meet back in just over 10 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back. Hello. So lovely discussions. Let's create a few moments in this yogi view. Thank you. And do share your thoughts from the room, or if you have questions. I was just thinking we're quite used to affirmations, aren't we, in this philosophy and beyond. And that it's a beautiful statements like being master authority, and but in a way, sometimes if the ego is hearing it, we can't really accept something inside, won't really accept it. Or we hear it so many times, it's sort of just like a mantra. So it's a very different method here, just another way. And I guess we have to learn our own psychology, what is really working, and really observe what angle to take, what medicine, because sometimes to just deliver this clarity of the irrelevance in the bigger scheme of things, we're on a long journey, and we need to shrink this present hype. How actually that can be a huge blessing, to really accept the greatness, but not let it get mixed with the R factor. So I was just reflecting on these different methods, whatever helps us. So welcome back to Prashant.
Thank you. Yeah, it is definitely a subject for us to revise. I might request you not to speak on this subject to others, anyone else, because it has to be understood properly. Preparation is required. And I'm very reluctant to speak on this subject. That's why many of you might have heard on this for the first time. There is benefit, but it has to be understood properly. And then you are in a better position to explain to others. You may have to experience the benefit of it. The whole of our game, our subject today is clarity. Our game is not at the end of the Iron Age. Whole chaos is because of lack of clarity. And within that, this I is hijacked by ego and projected on this doll. Can you believe this? That this is constantly, we think we are spiritual effort makers, and this I is still hijacking our efforts in a completely different direction. It has to be seen. We need to shine light. But interference is all the time. Ego feels he's spiritual. He's making spiritual effort. This game is going on also. In the midst of it, like what is happening, drawing sketches, just stepping back, seeing the sketches, seeing the images, that might help to hold on to the clarity in different ways. We need that clarity and grow. There's a lot more to grasp in this area for all of us, and we have to build on it. And in this game, if the ego shrinks even 1%, it's a big success, because that is the only problem of the world. This R factor, we are talking about Ravan there, and God comes, Ram comes to remove Ravan. That is all, and you get heaven. So here Ravan, that R factor is the only thing that has to be removed. And if you are successful in it, even real progress, even 1% at that level, you will see the benefit. Yes, if there are any comments, feel free to let us hear them, and then we'll go for some experience.
Was a question from actually earlier. She's saying, as children, we are brought up by our parents and elders, and we learn by their example. But unless our parents are egoless seekers, then the offspring may not realize the temporary nature of the material world until much later in their lives. It's kind of a comment that came earlier.
Yeah, we are in the Iron Age, and at the end of the Iron Age, even so-called spiritual effort makers and all, but we are seeing how dominant this R factor is. And even if parents have some understanding, you are surrounded by friends and everybody else, teachers. We are We are in a different world. And but we can, wherever we are right now, we can start the process of change in ourselves.
The comment that when we stop feeding Robin, the angelic soul gets a chance to breathe was really resonated. So that's just highlighting something from earlier.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Just one question. We said, are you your own friend? This was a question. Are you a friend of the soul, or are you a friend of your enemy? Are you cooperating with your enemy? This may have to be questioned. We may have to write this down and see what is happening during the day. How much time do you create for the benefit of the soul? And how much time, or where are the thoughts? Are the thoughts going to feed the ego? Worth reflecting on this, observing in ourselves. And what are others doing? Are you friend of others? Are you the friend of the soul, or are you friend of the ego of others? Worth questioning this. Who thinks you are a friend of the soul of others? As a spiritual effort maker, and we are into service also, what happens most of the time? Are you friend of the souls? Are you friend of the ego? If you are friend of the ego, means you are their enemy. If you are the friend of the soul, then you are their friend. So where does the honestly answer this? Do you think you are a friend of the soul most of the time? Because we are into service, we want to reach others and give them knowledge. Are you friend of the souls most of the time? Are you friend of the ego of others most of the time? You can answer.
You can type. 50-50 was one possibility. Of the ego was straight answer. How do we know if we're friends of the soul or of the ego? Great question. Friend of ego is another vote for that one.
Yes, 50-50. That okay, maybe intention is the way to know is, am I seeing the soul? Is 50% of the time, whoever you meet in every interaction, are you aware that here is the invisible angelic prince who is associated with this part? Are you having that awareness? Vaguely, soul is one thing. That is not a friend of the soul. People in this world, many people talk about soul. But are you having that respect and love for the invisible angelic prince? If you are doing that during those seconds, you are the friend of the soul. If there is a time when you have completely forgotten that he exists even, your full focus is on the role, then how can you say you are friend of the soul? It is possible, 50-50 is possible, but what asking oneself is that, am I acknowledging his existence? And then anything further can progress. If I'm completely ignoring, then you can't be. In one Zulu tribe, in Africa, they have a greeting. Their greeting is Saubana, and it means I see you. Translation is I see you. Because in that tribe, punishment, anyone does mistake, the punishment is to ignore that person. Don't see. So they see you. So here we have to ask, am I seeing this is our family, true family? Am I seeing them? Or am I totally ignoring them? I may have full attention on their shoes and their car and their hat and their fashion, maybe body, and the role, but am I seeing the soul? And if I'm seeing the soul during that time, it is Saupana. That may be a great practice to bring in, even for half a minute. Every interaction in silence, remind that here is the soul. Create this habit. That will help you because you need to be in full awareness, and you will also be benefiting others. Everyone wins. And it is a positive spiral. It will more we get into those experiences that will encourage you to, it will get refined and it will become stronger. Right now, let us come to the practice and attention. We are understanding this great option of going for 100% light. And this language of dolls is good because it reduces the confusion. Ego becomes smaller already just by saying that is the world of dolls. R factor already becomes small. The hype is reduced. The hype is created by that R factor. And we are saying this whole thing is, we are into the last episode of that doll show, and it is going to be dismantled. So there is not a huge excitement about, collecting more junk in that world of dolls. Your attention now is beyond that doll performance. And beyond is the real world. And this is world of the father and the family. Alokik, unearthly. But for one with Paras, it is so vivid and obvious. The family of this angelic princess, all immortal. All are lovely, loving, and lucky. Such is this world. All are lovely, loving, and lucky. World of the father and the family. The Father is the one who is always Paras. He is the one who is always in this full Paras, full clarity. That is all. That's what makes God God. So there is no room for confusion, mixing, ego, attachment. No room for that. No room for Ravan. And he knows the greatness of everyone. He sees this extraordinary truth of everyone. Not everybody body is in the world of dolls, but he sees this princess and invisible travelers. They are the invisible angels. Knows that they belong to him. They are worthy of immense love. They are lovely, childlike, and godlike. All and always. This is the way he sees. We realize the truth of everyone is immensely beautiful. As we continue on our journey in the sky, on earth, we understand the magic of this light. Thank you. We'll hear some thoughts from Sarah, and then we'll also hear words from Madhaba.
It feels like it's more like a science sometimes, in a nice way. The precision aspect of attention, and when you say magic, it looks like magic even in science, doesn't it? When it works, you're kind of amazed. You follow the procedure and it has results. But when we have this precision and understanding, it like something lights up, just like you connect electricity and a light bulb goes. Here it's the spiritual light. It works when we understand all the components, like in a circuit. So it becomes exciting, and you feel the benefits. The whole thing needs fine tuning, doesn't it? But very liberating. So that's all from here, and we're just going to post the recordings, English and Spanish. Thank you so much. Thanks to the translators. Lots of gratitude. And we will now listen to Madhaban. And meet again soon. Thank you all so much.